At the beginning of the season, I made 2 videos predicting who I thought was going to be the best athletes and teams on the Biathlon World Cup circuit, and now we get to go see how I did. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Brian Halligan, and this is my YouTube channel about biathlon. Here we go. First prediction is going to be Martin Ponsiluoma from Sweden. As you can see, we have to scroll down a little bit to find him on the ranking. Ponsiluoma, I think, compared to last year, he didn't do that much better, but he didn't do really that much worse. I mean, his shooting was down a little bit at the beginning of the season, but he was able to pick it back up to where he normally is, and his ski rank was still pretty high. And you know what? The guy also ended up getting a medal at the Olympics in Beijing in the mass start, so he was able to kind of back up what he did in Pokljuka last year, where he won world championships in the sprint. So, you know, I don't think Ponsiluoma had too much of a better season, but he didn't have a terrible season either. When looking at this graph right here, these are his winning percentages per season. And, you know, he didn't really do that much better. In fact, he did pretty much worse in everything, including top 40s and podiums. So on this one, I'm just going to have to give myself a neutral score. He was a solid performer for the Swedish team, came away with an Olympic medal. So yeah, Ponsiluoma, pretty good season, but not outstanding. My next prediction is Germany's Philipp Nawrath. All right, Nawrath is a awesome thumbs up for me. This was a great pick. The guy who really didn't have too many races on the World Cup prior season just came back and had a great year. I mean, a bunch of top 10 results, a bunch of top 20 results, as you can see, way more than the season before, but never really had a consistent season until this year, where he pretty much was on the World Cup the entire season and ended with a 5th place in Oslo, Holmenkollen, at the very last race of the season. You can't expect too much from him, his first full World Cup season, and I think he crushed it. So I'm going to give myself a thumbs up for this prediction. And even on my fantasy biathlon team, this guy gave me so many points. Like, it cost so few dollars to buy him from my team, and for the amount of points that he earned for how much he cost was a huge thumbs up. So Nawrath, huge thumbs up. My next prediction for breakthrough performance might seem a little iffy to you, but hear me out. My next prediction is going to be Johannes Dale. Oh my gosh. Johannes Dale really letting me down. This was just an absolutely terrible pick. I really thought Johannes Dale was going to crush this year. He basically just fell off of the World Cup at the first races of the season and really could just never get himself back to the World Cup. And so, oh my gosh, that was just a terrible pick. If you look at his race results, they were just, unfortunately, his skiing was down, his shooting was down, everything was down. As you can see, his standing shooting just went to total crap, from 78%, which isn't great, down to 64%. That's not good enough. Ski speed, not good. Yeah, just a terrible season and a really terrible pick. So, I mean, I hate to admit it, but I had Dale winning the overall. I really thought he was going to step up and dethrone Johannes Tingesbo, not only on the Norwegian team, but just in the world. And I thought he was going to win the overall World Cup this year. And he was so far from that. He went down to the IBU Cup, and he didn't even win the IBU Cup this year. So I got to give myself 2 thumbs down for this prediction. I don't know what I was thinking when I saw this, but you know, Dale, you always have a special place in my heart because of this. So maybe next year you'll come back and yeah, maybe I was just 1 year off. Now I want to throw a North American into the mix because I know a lot of my audience comes from North America. So who's my breakthrough performer from North America this year? I got to go Jake Brown. Jake Brown actually had a pretty good season this year. If you look at this graph right here, his race rank was up, his ski rank was up, even his shooting was way up. But you know what? He really wasn't the breakthrough American of the season. And if you look at the overall standings on the World Cup, but if you look at the overall standings, you can see Paul Schomer and Christian Gau from Canada actually tied for the top North Americans this season, and kind of left Jake in the dust. Now this is kind of tricky because when looking at this graph, Jake has a way more top 40s, so I think he actually did end up placing higher in the overall than he did last year. However, he had less top 30s and no top 20s this season, where he had that 12th place at World Championships last year. So unfortunately for that reason, I'm going to have to give myself a thumbs down on Jake Brown. That rhymed. I think Paul Schomer would have been a much better pick for breakthrough because really last year Paul Schomer was on and off the World Cup, and then this year he was not only a staple on the World Cup team, but he had some really, really solid results. So Jake, nothing against you, but you just weren't a breakthrough performer this year. You had a better season, but it wasn't a breakout like last year. And finally, my prediction for breakthrough team of the year is going to be the Czech Republic. All right, so the Czech Republic men's team, I think this one's going to have to be a thumbs down. I thought they were going to do quite a bit better than they did last year, and they really didn't. As you can see, last year in the relay score, they were 10th, and this year they came in 14th. However, in the Nations Cup score last year, they were 11th, and this year they did come in 9th. But, you know, I really, it's kind of in the same ballpark of like sort of just being mediocre. Sorry. You know, last year at World Championships in the relay, they came in 13th place, where this year at the Olympics, they came in 19th. Just all the major races, they're just going the wrong direction. They didn't really have a standout star. I really thought that Michael Krishmar was going to have a really solid season and lead the team to some of these better results, but he just really didn't. No one else was there to help really back him up. So I'm going to have to give myself a thumbs down on the Czech Republic being a breakthrough team this season.